Had a flat tire this morning. Ah, Dustin. Of course I didn't. And of course it's not worth $9,000. I was just I was like, uh what's the most dumbass amount of money somebody adds to a video title? It's like surely 9,000 is the most that anybody's ever put. So I'm sure next time it'll be 12,000, and then I'll continue to grow from there, uh, un- until I get to complete absurdity. Um, but his thing, don't know what this is called. Um, Kyle, I like to keep the clickbaiting extreme, um, to where it's like just completely obvious clickbait, to where it's so absurd it's not even clickbait at that point. This is a runt, no bill. I didn't think his runts. I thought his runts had bills. South Jersey, what's up, dude? Um, but no. So for anybody curious, I got my light blinding. Swimbait Dundee said it's the Beast Glide, not the Runt. Jeremy, I don't know. I don't know what he calls them. If they change, whatever. But for those of you that are interested, um, no, Jeremy, that was I already sent that one off. Um, but for those of you interested in bait restoration and that type of thing, painting, whatever it may be, uh, if a Piz runs across your desk, if you get a Piz bait in your mailbox and you have to do anything to it, for you builders out there or painters, whatever, I know a lot of painters follow this account, channel, whatever you want to call it, page. Uh, but Paul uses glass eyes. And when I say glass, I mean like windshield glass, real glass. He's about the only person I know that actually uses um, legit glass um, eyes. So the guy actually sent me a set of Rafa does too. Okay, there you go. It's number two person that does. Um, I don't get many of his baits. I've gotten two, but I didn't think they had glass eyes. Um, but the eye removal wasn't that bad. You just drill them out and they fall apart. Probably should wear a little bit of eye protection, but they don't shoot out too bad. They just crack in place. So, Hollow Enigma, there is your bait free of its glass eyes. So they weren't. I actually enjoyed removing these more than plastic eyes. They came out better because they broke apart and they didn't like grab. Um, so any other plastic eyes, like the doll kind of eyes, like these. Oh, sorry, I got my Wi-Fi connected. Sorry about that. No, it was actually pretty enjoyable. Um, Glass is pretty hard, so that took a little bit to. Once I started grinding on them, I was like, maybe I don't have the right bits for this. But eventually, it would uh, it would start cutting, and yeah, you broke them. But Also, for those curious in the painting world, if you remove the tail, Trey, are you questioning my value, bro? Are you saying that my valuation is inflated? Are you saying that my post may be clickbaity in styling? But anyway, if you take uh, if you remove the tail, which this has the upgraded tail, if you remove this tail, I need to clean it out a little more. It's got some, or maybe it wasn't intended for this slot. Anyway, it doesn't fit real great. I can force it in, I guess. But anyway, so if you remove the tail, I typically don't like those stupid helping hands things that I see a lot of people use that grab them right here and hold your bait on a little platform, because who has room for 50 of those? I sure as hell don't. Most people don't. If I paint a lot of baits at a time, I don't need them all on helping hands because I don't have room for all those helping hands. So I don't use them. I take a more space saving way, and I hang them by the nose. And on the piz baits, I'm guessing Paul paints similarly. So he has a hole here. This hole is for taking a screw eye, such as this, and you put in here, give it a couple little screws, and maybe one more. There you have it. Now you can take this and run your, like I use paper clips, but you could use a paper clip in the tail, and you put a paper clip in this, hang your bait, you can hold it. I put mine on a swivel over my uh, little paint booth. Then I can hold it from here by the clip and turn it in 360 degrees, however I choose to paint it. So you paint it like that. You can turn it, paint the back, turn it, paint the sides. Do whatever you want to with it. You never have to touch it. That's the name of the game. You don't have to take it out of the clips. You don't have to do anything. You just, from the time it gets started, like once I sand it and it's hung, I never touch it again. So, with the exception of like a few things, but it'll get clear coated like that, painted like that, the whole 9 yards. So once I take this off, everything will be clean and tidy, and there won't be any like scary shit to do. But not all bait makers do that. Most of the time, if you so choose, if you're painting a lot of baits, you can take and you can just drill a hole inside the tail slot and nobody will ever know, unless there's an air pocket in there and you happen to fuck it up and the tail falls apart. But hopefully that wouldn't happen. Let's see what we have here. We have some comments on the YouTube. I was going to follow the Randy B method on the next live and do 90% of anglers who have never seen this bait. South Jersey, I think I had one a couple weeks ago that was 112% of anglers don't do this, or screw this up, or don't fish this bait right, or something stupid. It was like an absurd percentage. Speaking of Milliken, did you see the video of him losing $1,300 worth of swim baits and then crying about Hinkles being expensive when he literally caused that issue last year? I guess that is Would you call that poetic justice? Yeah, I mean, I don't. I think some Milliken fan will send him a Hinkle Shad for nothing, or cost or whatever, or you know he'll get a sweet deal. He I can probably assure you that uh, he's not going to be buying off eBay for $700. All he had to do was post that video. He probably got 30 DMs that said, "Hey, I got one unpainted. You can have. I'm not doing anything with it. Send me $200. It's done." Um, so yeah, I don't. I mean, I don't feel bad for the dude fishing out of his brand new Camus, fishing for a living, loses his Hinkle Shad. Who fucking who? You know what I mean? Da, 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 da. Nate Rolling, what's up? Got any more swimmers laying around? There's 9 right there on the wall. Those are all mine though. I have one in there to paint. I'm pouring some right now, uh, but I ran into a little bit of a roadblock because Monday I was going to start pouring baits, and or tomorrow I was going to start pouring baits, and my resin stock is a little low, like very low. I can probably pour like four more baits, 3 more baits out of the resin I've got. So like, oh, I'll just go buy some more resin on Friday. Um, have it here first of the week, and out of stock. So my only other option is to buy the same resin formula, because I really don't want to switch brands, um, because everything that I've got now, as far as like how I make the baits, like how I'm used to pouring them, is working. You know what I mean? Like I can pretty much get away. I pretty much know what I do. Um, but my only other option is the I use a white resin. The only other option for me to do would be to change brands or to change colors. So I could get my same resin, the same formula, but in black. And I don't know that I want. I went in there and used a little bit of uh, random RC3 resin I had sitting around, and I dyed it black just to see how it would sand, like see what I could see. That was my other issue, is I wanted to see, because white, I know, you can see pretty decent on white, um, like any little pinholes or like imperfections. It's pretty easy to pick up on white. Black's a little harder to see that kind of stuff. But the thing I do like about black is that you can see everything you sanded. It's way easier to sand, so I like that better. Um, so uh, I don't know. I'm not worried about anything structurally going wrong, but the color of the resin, that's the only thing that I was like, I don't want to pour a bunch of baits and then like think they're good and then go and like base coat them and like see all this like shit on them. So South Jersey, I don't know if they were black resin or he's always used black primer. I don't know if he's always used black primer, but he uses black primer a lot. Like this bait has a black primer. Um, and the one I stripped had a black primer. Um, so uh, I might. I think black rash would look cool. Um, the bait actually kind of turned out gray, but it doesn't look bad. Um, I mean, I could really dye. I don't know that you. Once I got black resin, I couldn't probably do a whole lot with it as far as changing the color. I could probably add yellow to it and make it a little green, but I think that would look like ass. Um, Add a little orange or red to it, make it brown. That would probably look like ass. Um, or the other thing I thought about doing was I was going to add like a highlight pigment to it and make it like a iridescent blue or iridescent red or something. Just make it like when you rash through, it was like glossy, not glossy, but like sparkly, which would be cool. Um, Cap light, yeah, that would definitely help. Um, but I guess I'm gonna have to go with the. I guess I'm gonna try. I'm gonna order like a half gallon maybe of this black resin and try it out and see how it works. Um, but that's what. Um, Kyle, they don't make gray resin. I could get white and dye it. Um, Rich is probably going to be September because I got to get this last group of baits out, and then I'm going to start on it. Um, well, I mean, everything's probably going to get base coated in white anyway, so the color of the resin shouldn't matter. My white probably won't be as white, which doesn't bother me because my white's not that white anyway. Because I'm lazy and probably don't clean my gun good enough between coats, and I spray mainly white and black. So you see a lot of yeah. I think Pete just adds like red dye to it, and the any when you add that red dye to white resin, it just turns pink. Um, so you have to go pretty heavy in order to probably make that really red. Um, but there's a that is the secret to the tackle craft method. Half-ass clean your gun between colors or don't at all, and that's how you get smooth transitions. The real purpose behind dyeing the resin, there is none. I mean, like I said, I like the dark color for sanding. Like you can see where you've sanded better than you can on white. Um, but the only real purpose it serves is none, unless you want a color to show when a bait rashes through. That's really the only thing. Um, Slay Nation, what's up, Slaya? Um, but I mean, I did some back in the day that were chartreuse. I did like a bright chartreuse resin, which was badass. But I can't do that with black. So I need to find that bait. Um, South Jersey, I know. I think think there might be a company out in California that made a pink looking resin. Um, but none of the major brands of like resin suppliers make anything pink. It's all white or black, pretty much. Uh, Kyle, that was just a freebie. Kyle said you just told your life painting secret. I thought you said you never give out secrets unless you got 100K views. Yeah, I gave out a freebie there. Dyewood drag skipped on a bass pulling drag and lost it. Sad day in America, that is. Uh, was it the only time I've ever had issues with any type of slippage? Was not from drag. Your drag might have like too much grease on it or something, or not enough. I would check your drag washers. Um, but the only time I've had a total failure was in the wintertime when it's super cold. I had a Shimano. I've had it happen a couple times, and both on a Calcutta. The anti-reverse bearing, the grease would like freeze up in it, and like if you went to set the hook, the whole reel handle would spin backwards. That cost me a 5-pounder at Lay Lake in about 2004. Uh, it was probably the most impressive swim jig bite I've ever seen in my life. So picture this: dingy water, probably 50 degrees, Coosa River in February, and I'm swimming a black jig down the edge of some dead weeds, and there is a little clump of hyacinths on the point of this, on this little secondary point. And we're in a pocket, and I throw my swim jig up there, and I'm scooting it along and doing, the Alabama twitch, as they call it. And I'm twitching it along, and my little swim jig is coming by that mat, and it gets right to the little bulb on the corner of that hyacinth mat. And when I cross that bulb, this fish comes out of there and blows the whole hyacinth mat like back up into the weeds, just like beaver slap. And I said, "Oh shit!" So I hammer her, and when I hammer her, my reel goes and spins backwards, and I get this humongous backlash. And I'm sitting there trying to like fight grab the line, fish comes off. But it was a giant. I don't know how big it was, but I say 5 just for the sake of not knowing. But it was a big one. But typically, I don't like Daiwas. That is one of the reasons, and it has nothing to do with their performance. I don't like working on Daiwas. I find it much easier to work on a Shimano reel. I've always had. I started with Ambassadors, the 5500s, the round reels. Took those apart a million friggin' times. I could do those with my eyes closed. Then I got the green 200s. I could take those apart with my eyes closed, swap anything I needed to out on those. Those were easy. And then I got the E's, which I still have, and those are a dream to work on. But I've opened up a few Daiwas before in my life, and I needed an engineering degree to get them back out, get them put back together. So I wasn't a fan after that. And they were older ones, like they weren't new. So I haven't worked on one in years, but those older models that I worked on, I was not. I never that left me with a sour taste in my mouth. I said, never again will I own a Daiwa because I can't work on them. So, I like stuff I can work on, obviously, because it breaks always. Darius, what's up, dude? You ripping bass today, or watching it rain? Everybody else, I feel like, is watching it rain. Red Wing Warrior, what was the bait that this fish pulled your drag? Jig, worm, swimmer. What kind of line stripping Cutting grass, that's not a bad job. If you're riding, if you're pushing, citizen. Yeah, you need to be able to put the hammer down on one of them. So that sucks. That sucks. 3 acres. That's pretty good yard, my man. Pretty good yard. I feel like mine's 3 acres and it's like uh, a quarter of an acre. But I got the little push mower. I fried my first push mower. It was already it wasn't nice by any means, but it was I hit a root. Some people would call it a root, but it was a root, and I bent the whatever goes up in the motor, dicked it up real good. So I got on Facebook Marketplace and I found a little search for lawnmower, and a lady, because my grass was getting bad, and I was like, dude, I can't. I'm not going to buy a new lawnmower. Like, I don't give, I don't care that much. Um, and lady like a mile from my house was having a yard sale, and she had a Husqvarna lawnmower for $50. I was like, I'm coming to get that thing. She's like, all right. So she was sitting there in her driveway under a little tent with all of her stuff sitting out. And she said, man, that thing pulls on the first crank. My husband started it this morning. I was like, all right. And so it runs pretty good, actually. I was surprised. For $50, like, it's a really good running lawnmower. Um, but never fish weekends unless it's wintertime. It's probably smart. I might go fishing tomorrow, actually. I got something up my sleeve. We'll see. Oh, is Rich on here? Rich, are you still there? Let me see. Marty's there. Marty just showed up to the party. Let me see. Viewers, you dick. There it is. Rich. Marty, what's up? Rich, I got something for you. All right, this is really going to probably tickle your pickle. So, my buddy sends me a text this morning of 2 pictures. And my first response was, buy all of those. He is in a tackle store. And let me see. Let me make sure there's not anybody from down here on here, because they might get me on these. Damn it! Why won't it let me see who's viewing? Come on! What a piece of shit. Anyway, all right. So if you're wondering what's still out there in the world as far as vintage tackle, like in stores, it's out there. Now, this might not be the greatest find of all time, but it's a good one to be able to walk into a store and see that. So this is what he found live action in a store this morning. Brick and mortar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 packs, roughly. Brand new. From the 80s. Ditto gator tail worms. I said, buy them all. Send them to me. And he said, already left. I said, you asshole, why did you buy those, dude? He said, I didn't have any cash. God, come on, dude. All right, I'll stop sharing it. Darius, you ever get into tournament fishing, or you just fish for fun these days? Rich, I might send you some if there's a color you like. I don't know what colors they are. I have to dig through them, but probably keep some for the personal stash. Jeremy, my problem with cutting grass with a weed eater is I usually kill the grass because I get too low, or I'll turn the head too much, and I'll just like go straight, like eating the roots up. Oh well, Rich, do you have a particular color you like, or just anything? I guess you could dye whatever you want. Um, Darius, you haven't fished a tournament in 20 years. Do you miss it or no? Sorry, guys, got a little bug I had to dig out. Um, oh, I'm gonna show you all this, or I'm gonna show it to the Instagrammers, and then I'll turn the phone around to YouTube's. Um, anyway, here's some snapshots to what bass tournaments in Mobile, Alabama used to look like before my time. And I told my buddy, I sent him these pictures. I said, if tournaments in Mobile get like this again, I'll sign up for the tournaments with no practice and no intention to win, just to go hang out and like shoot the shit with people. You know what I mean? Like I don't even care where I start. Like all the pressure of that would go out the window. I would just like drive up the river till I saw something that looked good and then pull over and start fishing. Like I would not be like mad at them, trying to be like you know doing 80 miles an hour trying to get to wherever I'm trying to go. Like I literally would not care. Um, but I hope I saved these on my phone. I thought I did. Let me make sure. Damn it! Did I not save them? If I didn't, I can go back and find them. Hmm. I bet I deleted them. Son of a bee. Huh. I guess I deleted them. Son of a bitch. Son of a bee. Well, hold on. I gotta show them now. Instagram, y'all might get paused for 1 second. All right, I'm back. Look at this, dude. I don't know these guys, but this is the weigh-in at a tournament. How fun does that look? And they had a band set up. Y'all ever fish any tournaments like that? If you can't see, dude's got Hooters girls, like 4 beer koozies, long necks. Like that's a damn tournament, dude. That'd be fun. I guess you can't do that anymore. Can't have tournaments like that. So, have y'all ever been to a tournament like that? Red Wing Warrior. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, why are tournaments not like that anymore? And the other cool thing was, um, that was really impressive to me is that they had a live band there, full band, but it wasn't some like cheese dick like band. It was like a rockabilly band, and the dude had on his like pearl snap shirt with like his big like hollowed out like whatever kind of guitar, and like you could tell they were like kind of like a rockabilly band. Um, I was like, man, because that would be to me way better than listening to some dude sit up there with an acoustic and a PA playing like cover whatever. Like At least they're throwing a little flavor in there, you know. Like get like a Zydeco band or something that's not like standard. Uh, the Redfish rodeo is like that. Well, maybe I need to come down to the Redfish rodeo. It's like the NFL doesn't even show cheerleaders anymore. That sounds about right. Sounds about right. Probably won't have cheerleaders for very much longer. But I don't know about y'all. Speaking of grass cutting, we had a lot of grass cutting comments. I cut my grass on Sundays typically, and usually by the next Sunday, with all the rain we've been getting, it's like a foot tall in a week. It's growing real, real good, annoyingly good. I like wintertime. I hate cutting grass. Sports are getting soft. Yeah, yeah, they are. Big zero turn. Those things are fun. What's the top speed on that rig, Darius? Just out of curiosity. Who's that? Who's that? Who's that country singer that got the Dewey over in at Pickwick? Was that the Possum? Who was that? George Jones? Country music aficionados. Who's the country singer? They got the Dewey on a lawnmower. And I want to say it was at Pickwick Lake. He lived off the banks of Pickwick. Correct me if I'm wrong, someone. I'll be eagerly waiting. George Jones got a Dewey on a lawn tractor. Yep. I knew it. I knew it. But anyway, the reason I knew that was because when I went and bought my first Triton, I was riding it around the lake, and the guy was like, "See that over there? That like road over there?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "That's where George Jones got his DUI on his lawnmower." I was like, "Really?" I was like, "Yeah." And how about that? How about that? Confirmed. Jonna confirmed. AJ, what are you doing? What's going on in Nebraska? Anybody watching this shitty South Dakota tournament? Nothing in there. I tried to watch a Marty. I did. I did. I have to hide them so we don't see the rattles. They're here. They're big. Marty, what's the little fuzzy part that happens on the edges sometimes with the epoxy? What is that caused from? I don't use epoxy enough to know what it is. But you see it occasionally. You get like a little frosty corner. It's got like it's got like a little texture to it. You don't know what causes it? got it. I don't know. It's odd. I guess whatever the previous coating was thin on the corners, and it just doesn't want to lay right on those corners. I know epoxy has a pretty bad habit of not liking corners. So I guess that's its way of reminding you. Darius, I don't. I think we're in Alabama, but I don't know. Bass tracker at the time, 15 pounds was the biggest bag. 12 mountain time. You got to check South Jersey. I watched that this morning. As soon as I got to the shop, actually, I'll for transparency reasons, since that was the trend of the last live for full transparency. I watched that video driving down the road today, coming to the shop, but I didn't finish it. I finished it once I got inside. But the video we're talking about is retro bassin at the NFLCC, National Fishing Lure Collectors Conference or something. I don't know what it all stands for. But anyway, it's a bunch of old geezers with a bunch of old baits, and they just get around on all these tables and like trade and sell old fishing lures. Well, Retro Bassin went and did a video. Not a lot of that stuff I'm interested in. Like, I don't care about river runts and things of that National Fishing Lure Collecting Club. Is that what I said? Or did I screw it up? But anyway, they have a nice setup. Fishing Addict, yes, there is, and it is. You're talking to them. If you're going to find anything that he's doing now, they are through me. Unless you find them on the black market used. But we will have these coming out, the mubbas, and we'll have a topwater coming out in a week or two. Gerald, what rock did you just crawl out from under, bro? Anyway, I hope Matt wins. That'll be awesome. Walkers will be done tomorrow, so there you go. Maybe I'll do them all at the same time. Mubbas, Darius, you'll be happy to know Marty is sending me the little walker, the juice walker. Working hard. I hear you, dude. I hear you. It's the name of the game. Yeah. Oh, back to that guy. Yeah, the river runts and all the like old Cordell stuff and like the Arbogast stuff. I don't care for it all because I'm not going to fish it. So, how did that work, Marty? But I would enjoy. But as we get older, I'm sure there's guys there that have like stuff that would interest me, like you know, everybody's got Bagleys there, but I feel like Bagleys are like, I don't know if you can get deals on Bagleys there. You know what I mean? Because it's a collector thing, and like you could probably do better on eBay. So, but like plastic baits, there's plenty of plastic baits I'd like to have. Like, if somebody had a tackle box full of Norman middle ends, I'd probably clean them out. And you could probably get those. You could probably get those pretty cheap. Um, but the moral of the story was I really just in because I'm not interested in any of that stuff. Listening to to those guys' passion and interest of these weird little fishing lures and like one specific lure that they all tend to like gravitate towards individually. Uh, that was very entertaining. Like I would like to have seen him just interview everybody. You know what I mean? Like what got you into this? What's your bait of choice? What is you know? And all of them seem to have their one little company or specific bait or whatever it is that they gravitate to. And because he did the one with the big O guy, and then he had this other dude that was really big into the river runs, and there was another Arbogast guy. But it was really worth the watch just to listen to these guys storytelling, like because they're a dying breed, like those guys that are into that kind of stuff. Like guys like me aren't coming up collecting river runs. Like that's a generational thing. We're not collecting Arbogast. We're we're probably at the oldest Bagley stuff, but we're gonna be like maybe the We Are generation, or like the I'm trying to think what was popular in like the 80s and 90s, like Excalibur stuff. And there's none of that's like that rare. Um, Middle end's a badass bait, Darius. Better than a wiggle wart. Yeah, I said it. Suck a dick. Storm, you heard it. Yes, and I just said that. Middle end's better than a wiggle wart. Put that in your pipe. Horseshoe Customs. Paint some damn middle ends. I mean, they really do run similar. They really do run. Because the middle end runs like shit. And if you like an old shitty running pre-Rapala wigglewort, you would love a middle end because you never know what they're going to do. Typically run like ass, but in a good way. They're all over the place. I'm guessing, I don't know for certain, but I never really processed it. Uh, but maybe a middle end was Norman's answer to the wigglewort. I don't know, but I like them better. I think they come through trees better. Um, AJ says they don't sell. Middle ends don't sell. Fine by me. Keep throwing those stupid ass wiggle warts. And I'll just keep hoarding my middle ends. Kyle, he did one time, and he can't replicate it. You got to paint what sells, so I don't blame you there, AJ. But if people were smart, they'd be on the middle end train. But nobody's like, a middle end isn't sexy. Nobody's pushing the middle end. When was the last time somebody, like, you saw somebody being like, man, check out this box. It's my secret box that I fish on the Elite Series. It's old Norman middle ends. Never. It'll never happen. Um, Mountain Dew's a good color. What about lavender shad? I don't know that. Marty said, "Fuck no, my wart don't run." He has one that ran, and he said it was legit, but he can't catch that lightning in a bottle again. Toss a freak. What's a freak? Is that in the middle end wigglewort territory? No, Kyle, he is not saying that to keep it to himself because it's that good. He's keeping it to himself because it is maddening that he hasn't been able to replicate that bait that he carved with his two hands and half a can of dip. That's all it took. Did you see those Arbogast crankbaits that were in the beginning of the video that looked like a wiggle wart before wiggle warts was even a thing? I'm wondering if Storm got their design from those baits. South Jersey, they probably did. I don't know what they were, but you could probably bet that they came from somewhere. They didn't just come out of thin air. That's the funny thing about a lot of those. Like uh, you hear Bernie Schultz talk about it a lot, um, but he can pretty much name you the derivative of every bait on the planet right now. Like, you know, Whopper Plopper. He's like, oh yeah, that was this bait made in 1942. This, oh yeah, the whatever crankbait. Yeah, that was this from 1937. Oh yeah, this like he knows it all, and pretty much all, like he's like, oh, chatterbait, that's not new. That came out in 1927. Like, like pretty, and it's accurate. Like all that shit is a derivative of something. He said he can make a flat wart run good, but he can't make the round one. Hmm. Yeah, that would be really disappointing, though, South Jersey. Uh, is that if you thought you had like a really good idea, and that's happened to me, where you think you have a really good idea, and then like you realize somebody else did that and it flopped like 20 years ago. Um, and it's probably not the bait's fault. It's probably more marketing um, and branding than it was the fault of the actual bait. But there was a kid. What was his? He gets on here. Is he on here? Let's see. Reagan. Wasn't Reagan the one that was talking about that worm that you hook through the middle? Like it has two holes. It has a hole. It's like a flat leech looking bait, and you put the hook through the hole, and it like compresses it, and it fishes like this. Um, I found out a couple nights ago, browsing on Alibaba for something, that is in giant production overseas. That those can be had for dirt cheap in any amount of volume that you want to private label them as. So I don't know if they were. I don't know if they claimed patent on them, or it looks to me as if they were uh, already made, and they might have seen them from somewhere and been like, "Hey, let me just private label those," which happens a lot. Um, I'm not 100% certain they might have designed them and gotten ripped off, but there is there was you see a lot of that where guys will like maybe have a bait designed and they can't afford it, or they like the project dies and they go through all the like design process and all that shit, and then nothing happens, and then the manufacturer's left with the design, and somebody picks it up. Then maybe that's what happened with that bait. I'm not 100% certain, but if you wanted those in large volumes, they're there for the taking. Enid worm, yeah, something like that. Uh, but like I said, I don't know what I was searching to find that, but they're all over AliExpress and Alibaba. Um, uh, what else did I see? Oh, the coolest one I think I've ever seen that I really wanted to buy. I don't know who ended up with it, but it was an incredible design, and I don't know how you would have gone about getting it because I think it had like spread a little bit through other manufacturers, but I don't know who had it designed, like who was the originator of it. Um, but they started popping up for sale, And the story was that the people, somebody from over here, had a bait designed, and for whatever reason, when it was time to like buy the actual product, it didn't happen, and the manufacturer was sitting there with however many thousand of this bait, and the bait was it was like a dark sleeper, like it was a goby imitator, but it was the coolest design you've ever seen, and like it made a goby look cool. Um, it was a really really well done bait, and the paint looked great. Uh, all that stuff about that bait was awesome. Like whoever came up with it did a really good job. I'd like to know who the originator of that was, but after that they just got, like, they never hit the market. I still haven't seen them. Like I've seen guys like sell them on Facebook Marketplace because they obviously went on like AliExpress or Amazon and bought a bunch of them, and tried to resell them. But I never saw them under an actual brand. But they were very 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 worthy of like any, like they looked too good for Strike King. Like if Strike King would have bought them, you would have looked at them and been like, this isn't Strike King. Like this is something else. Um, like 6 Cents could have picked them up and it would have looked like a 6 Cents product. They're about the only people in the U.S. 6 Cents is about the only company in the U.S. that could have picked them up and it wouldn't have looked out of place in their lineup. Um, it wouldn't surprise me if they have that bait now and it would like come down the pipe later. But um, it was a really really Rich. I'll let you know. It was a really cool bait. That's pretty awesome, Kyle. Um, South Jersey, did you ever see that bait? It was a goby. Really, really pretty bait. Let me see if I can find a picture of it. What do I have to do to get on? I need South Jersey. Will StreamYard let me screen share in the free version, or do I have to pay for it? Goby, Goby. There it is. It's on Amazon. Dude, they're so badass looking. Check these things out. Look how awesome of a design that is. Beautiful bait. Beautiful bait. It's a shame it never went anywhere. Um, but I would, like I said, like that would be a bait worth somebody picking up and bringing to market because it's so well done. Um, you can get a 5 pack for $12 on Amazon. Uh, but it's here they are. There's more of them. Dude, these things are so good looking. But now it's just like a cheap Chinese Amazon bait. But there was whoever did that had a good eye. Tim, what's up? Um, Ooh, I can share with the free. You just have to allow your computer to share. I've been having issues though for some reason trying to share. That's unfortunate. Um, I never dick with StreamYard. I probably should because I like showing y'all that would be cool. But South Jersey, if you're curious of this, look up like Goby imitating soft plastic, and go to images on Google and you'll see the one I'm talking about because it looks light years better than the other one, and it's on Amazon. Um, they look badass. I mean, they look just like a damn goby. Actually, they look like if 316 were to make a goby. is what they look like to me. They look 316ish. It kind of looks like a if you took a rising sun and made it a goby. Maybe Mickey bought them. I don't know. Couldn't tell you. But Tim, which swim bait? Oh, this one. Yeah, after I got through painting, it's probably gonna be 9K. Fanatic Goby, is that the brand that picked it up? It was a free for all for a while. Oh yeah, that's 9K. It's probably a couple $100 now, but after the paint job I put on it, easy 9K. Gerald, you got a store? Are you owning and operating a tackle store? That would be it. That was my dream growing up. Pre pre bass fishing pro, I wanted to own a tackle store on a. I wanted to own a tackle store slash boat launch restaurant, and I wanted to go there early in the morning and have tournaments there and sell fishing tackle and drink coffee and just listen to people tell fishing stories all day. That was my dream. I hear you, Tim. How many you got, bro? I know you're sitting on some pizzas. Ah, man, I think that would be the life. I don't. I like owning a non waterfront tackle store. I don't think I would be interested in. I would want. My dream was to own um, Live Oak Landing on the Delta over there in Stockton, um, because it's right. It's like covered in cypress trees. It's right on the river. Like it's beautiful. It's got a little pond in the middle of it. Awesome place, but you could retire. You'd have to be retired age because there's no way you can make a living up there. Uh, I think people have tried. Um, and what really scares me is like how many times that Goose Pond changed hands um, on Gunnersville. Uh, because I don't think that Goose Pond like thrived. I don't know for certain, but I wouldn't have thought it would have changed hands so many times if it would have been like a great business. Uh, and Gunnersville is one of the busiest lakes in the country. Uh, but their grill was really good. And they had a okay tackle section, but I guess waterfronts. But you could get there by water. Like waterfront, you actually have to go across the road. Um, but Goose Pond, you could go by water. Uh, and I guess that's probably I guess Goose Pond. I'm trying to think on Gunnersville if Goose Pond's the only tackle shop you can get to by water, and I think it is. Dennis the Menace, what's up? But you'd think being the only show in town where you can pull up and get tackle, ice, drinks, that everybody would be there, and that's like a great section of the lake too. So, um, but I guess they're not. I don't know. I don't know. I'm sure it's good when it's good, and then like summertime, fall, it kind of slows off, starts sucking. But then wintertime probably blows up there. Not fishing, but actual tourists. Um, I'd like to see the numbers on a place like Goose Pond's tackle store, like what you could expect to make. Maybe people just Maybe the people just got tired of it. Booze is key. You are correct, Tyler. Booze is key. You gotta have a nice little patio, maybe a little shitty guitar player out there singing some tunes. Got some fans with maybe a little mist blowing down on you, so you could drink a cool Steve Weiser. Shout out to Stone Cold. Um, yeah, that'd be the shit. A brewery slash tackle shop with a barbecue place attached to it. That would be awesome. I'll tell you what the nastiest thing on the planet is probably the bathrooms at Goose Pond before a tournament or waterfront because they're all like single restroom bathrooms and it's all these guys like fighting fighting to get in there. It's pretty brutal. Yeah, you need to sell guns. Then you might could survive. Hunting stuff, booze, maybe some food, and you might be able to sell a little bit of fishing tackle and whatever knickknacks you might want to get rid of. But I think booze and guns, you'd probably be safe. Which sounds like an awesome place to hang out, actually. Uh, Hunting stuff for fall and winter. Oh, yep. All right. I gotta go to a class reunion tonight. 20 years since I was in high school. Do I look like I've been out of high school 20 years? Don't answer that. No one talks about the live target goby paddle tail jig bait. I don't. Nothing from live target is on my radar. I think they're kind of cheese dick. It looks pretty ugly, and it's a sad day. I mean, it looks like a goby, sure, but I'm almost more attracted to the Bass Pro Shops XPS goby imitator. Yeah, I've heard people talk about their frog. I just can't. I just can't make myself buy live target. Like they're just hokey. Like to me, they're not like a legitimate brand for like legitimate anglers. Live Target makes the best frog hands down. Does it actually look like a frog? Because I don't like that if it does. The best frog. What makes it so good? They look awful. All the others are too small, softer than this Pro. Convince me that it's better than a pad crasher, and I might listen. But until then, we'll just agree to disagree. Tim, are you going to buy a tackle store? When people go to their high school reunion, do they pick up with their old friends and clown on the people they used to clown on? Probably not. I've gotten older, and I was thinking about it. I was talking to Amy about it last night. I was like, how do you teach your children compassion over like people you don't realize might have been having a hard time in school, but you don't really process it like that in when you're a kid. So like you might have a person that doesn't act. They might be a little introverted, and I was, but I didn't have any like trouble at home or anything. But you might have somebody in your class that's a little uh, just different. They're quiet, keep to themselves, whatever. It might seem a little odd, whatever the case may be. But for all they might have to go, or all you don't know, they might have to go home and like take care of their grandmother, or like raise their like brothers and sisters, or like they might have who knows what fucking going on at home. But you don't like look at the world like that when you're a kid. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but um, so I started thinking about it. I was like, all the people you give hard times to, it's like you really don't know where they've been or what they were doing at home, or how if their parents were pieces of shit or what. They're just thrown in a school with a bunch of kids. So who knows? So I got a different perspective now. Tyler, you asked what I mean. I feel like when you're growing up, like people try and tell you, that, but it doesn't. I don't think it sinks in until you get older. Letter Burns, Tim, that'd be the shit, dude. What about barbecue? Gotta have barbecue, dude. But it made me feel bad, Tyler. It's like I probably should have maybe been a little more, and not really compassionate, because I was never like a real dick. I mean, maybe I could have been, but probably was. If you ask underclassmen, people would probably be like, "Oh, you're a total dick." Um, Take it easy, G. Good talking to you. Um, 10 years in waiting. That'd be sweet, dude. Make it happen. Um, well, I guess I need to get out of here and go get ready for some class reunion, and then South Jersey. I'm out. We're all leaving. Everybody's got to go do shit. Let's let's go back out into the world and live as a whole. Y'all be good. Instagram. See y'all later. Got them gone. Darius, South Jersey. All the Kyles. Tim. Y'all be good. We'll catch y'all next time.